Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Starbound. And I figured for this episode, because we're waiting for the new patch before starting our base and all that, I figured I would play around with wires. Which you should not do in real life. Nope. Alright, so the basics of wires is, well, first thing, you need a wire station right here. So, and to build a wire station, you need 20 steel bars and 20 titanium panels. And titanium panels you build in the metalwork station, and they are right here. So you do that, blah blah blah. You build your wiring station here, and then the first thing you're going to want to build is the wiring tool. This will allow you to attach different objects together. And there's mine right there. So, see here, and as you can see, the only one I'm not too sure of right now is the drain. I thought it would drain water. It did not. Maybe I need pipes or something, I don't know. And the light sensor didn't work for me. Everything else seems to work. So basically, if anything has the wire, that's light. Okay, well, if anything has the wire, or at least the door type indicator right here, you should be able to connect it to a wire. And to see if you can connect it to a wire is if you place it and you take out your wiring tool, boom. You get all your little connections here. So what do these little panels mean? Well, the first one I'm gonna show you guys is this one here, the bulb. So, and right now all the recipes are the same, but the bulb is basically an output light, shows whether something is on or off. So to see, I have this console attached to this bulb, so if I activate this console, it turns on that light. Turn it off, on, off. Another one here is I have a pressure plate right here. If I step on it, I have this connected to this bulb right here. Hit, and as you can see, the light's on. On, off. Okay, so let's talk about this thing right here that's flashing. This is a timer. It seems to be a 1 second timer, and if you look here, oh yes, sorry, actually, before I continue, let me just show you this here. Is to connect these two together. You see here you have a red kind of blip here, and you have a purple. You can connect the red and purples together. So if I right click on the wire here, it'll take it away. And if I want to connect them together, I have to left click on one of them, bring it up to the purple one, and then that connects them together. So okay, so this here is the timer. So that's the input, that's the, yeah, that's true too. That's the input, output. So here's the timer, and what happens is every second it'll tick on, off, on, off. If you give it power, it will stay on whichever setting it's at. It'll actually reset the counter to 0. So if I keep dancing on and off it, here, let me wait till it's back on. Oh, I didn't step on it. It's going to turn me into a liar. You see how it's staying off? Alright. Anyways, I'm pretty sure that's what that means right there. But as long as it's getting power, it stays in its current state. So that's the timer there. This top one up here, I believe that is the XOR switch. So requires one input to be on and one to be off for it to be actually true. So what that means is if I have this powered, it's going to be on. If I have this powered, it's going to be off, because both outputs are true, which means because this is an XOR, one of them has to be true, one of them has to be false. It's going to not create any output there. Sorry if that's confusing. If you know programming, it's not that hard to understand too much. Or if you know binary bit counting and all that. But as you can see here, that's powered, and it's off. Stand off, that's not powered, that's powered. So that's true for the XOR, so it powers that. Okay, so the next one underneath it, that's the NOT. So I only have it connected right now to the pressure plate. So whatever input it's receiving, it gives you basically the opposite. So right now it's getting a false, so it's going to output true. If I stand on the pressure plate, now true is going in. That means it's going to output false, and turn off the little light bulb there. The next one, this is the traditional OR. So basically either one of these two have to be on for it to be true. So the last one, this one's a bit difficult to explain. It's the latch. I played around with it a bit more, but basically from my understanding, both have to be on for it to stay on. Now what I notice something funny here is, I'm not too familiar with it, but as long as, how can I put it? Okay, so for this to turn on, both of these have to be on. So this has to be on and this has to be on. Now from what I noticed is if I step off of this pressure plate, it's going to stay on. Now, but if I turn off this console, it's going to turn off. And I've noticed that whichever one is the bottom input, I would consider it to be kind of like the master one. So if I stand on it, see, it's off, and then I turn this on, it's on. It's going to stay on. Now it's going to turn off. Oh, it didn't turn off. Oh, my brain. Okay, I don't know anymore. I'm gonna have to read up on that. Yeah, I'll be back at the end of the episode. I'll read up on this a little bit more and let you guys know more about the latch. I know you can do like a latch in Minecraft. I don't actually do it, but I know that this is kind of like the main one. Anyways, I'm not really good with this type of stuff. This is my first time playing with the wires, but I have played around a bit more, and I did something over here. I made a security system. So as you can see, I have a pressure plate over here, and have a computer console. So this is my security system. So if a monster comes and just door shuts, turrets turn on, and alarm sounds. As soon as they stand off, then door back opens again, and well, that happens. But I can also activate from the computer inside, and it locks it. And what's a nice feature in this game is I can't open the door. I can't open it. Won't let me. As soon as you connect it to a wire, you cannot do anything with it. You have to use the console. And the way that I have the door always open is this is a knot. So as I stated, whatever opposite it's getting, it'll out. Yeah, so if it's getting false, it's going to output true. So, and because true opens the door, that's what's happening. It's keeping the door open until something is tripped. And I figured that was a nice touch. One thing to note with the turrets is you have to activate them before they will turn on and off. Now what I mean by there is, let's say I'm going to place one here. And I'm going to attach a wire from here. Oops. From here to here. Now you'd expect it to turn on, but it will not. As you can see, it's like a little ammo bar right here. But here it's gray, here it's green, and it's not, for right now, it's not turning on. So what we have to do is actually activate it like what we normally would with E. Now it's activated. Now if I step on the pressure plate, now it's back up and running. Boop. And yeah, so anything that has, let's go back to the ship just so I can show you real quick. Oh yeah, and this is another thing. You can't hit E, you can't activate anything while you have the wiring tool out. So if you're like, why can't I close my door? It's because you have your wiring tool out. So if we look here, you see that's a light, but if we go large console, that's a wire. That means we can turn it on and off. Same with the small computer, it's also a wire. Some items stay on just for a set number of time, like the small wall button. I'll show it to you real quick. The alarm's going to go off here because I spawn right on the button. I have one right here. If I just hit it, I'll turn on and then turn off. So it's kind of like a manual type timer. There we go. But I wanted to learn this stuff before the new patch comes out. Hopefully they don't change anything, because it's gonna take me a while to. Took me a while to learn this stuff, and I'll be back with you guys. I'm gonna find out more about the latch here, because I thought I had an understanding of it, and it turns out I don't. Oh. Okay, I'll be back, guys. Let me figure out how this latch actually works. Okay, guys, I figured out what the latch switch does. It's a bit tough to explain, but the way it works is this. So think of the top node as to activate the switch, as in to allow the switch to look at what this node is doing. So right now, if I hit this, nothing's happening. This is not turning on. Oh, and just so you know, the computer is on the bottom node. So nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Now, what this button does here, as you can see also, sorry, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. So, think of the top one as, say, once this is on, this switch here will do whatever this one is doing. So right now, on, off, on, off, on, off. Now, as soon as I go off with my pressure plate, this stays on. It's no longer looking at what this is doing. So I can do whatever I want to this one, and it won't change this. As soon as I step on this pressure plate, this switch will look to see what this computer is doing, and then because this computer is off, this will turn off. Poof. And now if I step off, turn it on, off, on, off, on. Now I step on this, it's going to say, tell the switch, hey, I want you to do whatever this thing is doing. Do it. Do it. Boom. Alright, I hope that explains it. So yeah, basically, the top node tells it to, if the top node is powered, whatever you're connected to in the second node, if you're getting any sort of power, power up. And do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it. Oh, that hurts my head. This all hurts my head. So, I don't know how much stuff I'm going to do with wire. I don't know everything. I know I've seen a disappearing floor in one of the dungeons that I've been to. And I'm assuming you can attach it to this sort of stuff. But I do like my little emergency door here. Although I don't like that. I don't need this. I don't need this. There. Ah, silence. Alright guys, well this is, I think it's a shorter episode. I had to cut this into 2 parts, so I don't know how long I've been going. But, yeah guys, well, that's just me playing with wire. I might never play with wire again. I think I will. I don't know how advanced I'm gonna go with this stuff. I'm a programmer, but this stuff kind of hurts my head sometimes. Alright guys, well thanks for watching, and I hope I didn't mess with your heads too much. It's still hurting mine, but I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.